I have another window envelope project for you today, and I'm making mine for my Uncle Rip journal, which I showed you last week also. I still haven't sewn the signatures in because I'm still wanting to do some of these projects while the pages are still loose. And this is what I did last week if you missed seeing how that works. That slides across and locks that. And everything slides around when it's closed. Okay, I'm going to put this aside and show you what I've made, or what I'm making. This is made from 3 window envelopes, and let me show you first the similar ones that I'm using. The top one is one of these that has this big window. This one happens to have a white background, and I think I'm just going to leave it white. I could put a piece of paper in there to cover that up, but it's going to have a picture in it, so I think I'm just going to leave it white, since I'm also going to leave part of this white. But this one has that crisscross background on it, but it also has some white around the edges, so you might have to, with an envelope like this, you might have to do some adjustments to cover up some of that. But you could always put like a decorative border or something up there. The next one down is one that is similar to this with the 2 windows. And then the third one is just an envelope that has a fairly wide window in it, like this one does. And all these backgrounds I really like. I like this one really well too. And if it has a pretty background like that and doesn't have this showing so much, I like to use it. And a trick I found on this is I opened up the envelope, and let's see if I can do this, that little border that's on there, you can just lift that up and trim that off. I took the envelope apart, trimmed it, and glued it back together so that the background design just goes across evenly. And you can also use coffee dyed envelopes. This is one I use some bubble wrap to press on it and make those dots on it. What I'm doing is making a flip up pocket series that goes on a page, and it will pretty much fill up one of my pages. My pages in the Uncle Rip journal are 8 inches, and this is a little 8-inch ruler, so it needs to be within that when I glue it on the page. So like that. I went ahead and decorated most of these. With this one, I used a paint chip. These are some that I picked up at Walmart. And I used an embossing folder on this that has this scroll design. I'll put a picture in so you can see which one it is. And then this is some tissue paper that had that design on it. It was white, so I put some ink on the back of it to just make it more beige looking. Dictionary page, and that was just a scrap that I had stamped off some designs on, some numbers and some other things, and I just decided I liked it. And this is a die set I have. This die set has mushrooms and these other foliage things and a leaf and the acorn. So I use the acorn. I cut this out of a wallpaper border that has a fruit design on it, and I just placed it where it was mainly on the brown parts. This was a technique that I learned from Kathleen Maurer, and she uses an embossing folder and does the design, and then she comes back with some fine grade. This is $1.50, and I just got this packet at Dollar Tree, so it was very inexpensive. And then you just lightly sand over this, and the ridges are sanded off and they're white then. So I think that is a neat technique, and that's the first time I've used it on this, but I like the way that turned out. And then this one, I'm going to just cover up these numbers down here with this little scrap of paper that has some gold paint and some letters and stuff on it. And I want to put this piece of green ledger over on this side with this little die cut, which also came out of this same die set, and the mushroom. And I'm going to do that. And then the bottom one I did with dictionary page, and this is a napkin, and this is a different napkin, and then the die of the acorn and just a little bit of washi tape there. And for the liner, I just used a piece of kind of cardstock scrapbook paper. I wouldn't have used such a thick paper, but I didn't have what I wanted in the green in another sheet, so I did that. I'm planning to glue this one down at the bottom, but you could also do it with the flip up so that you have 3 flips, and then you would have a writing space or a pocket or something behind there. So I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to go ahead and decorate this. I've already trimmed that up to make it line up. I believe that's the one I did. You can't even see where it is now. And put this over here. I just want this to be, I think I'm going to do it like that so that it's just barely covering that edge. So I have a little more room to put my die cuts on there. I think I'll use this glue, Turbo Tacky glue, and I have it in a small bottle that has the needle nose on it, and it probably needs to be opened up with a pen because I haven't used it today, so I'm sure it's stuck up. That's the only thing about these glues. Sometimes they don't want to come out. I like this glue pretty well. It works. It says all-purpose adhesive, and it says it's 50%, dries 50% faster than just regular tacky glue, which is kind of nice in some cases. Other cases, you might want to have more time to adjust it. Actually, what I'm going to do is put some Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength Glue Stick on the back of this. Now, I could have used this grid side of this on there, but I like the lines, so that's what I'm going to do. I can get that piece of something off there that doesn't belong there. Okay. You could also ink that edge if you wanted to. I think I'm not going to on this one, just because I already have the glue on it, and I really don't feel a need to do that. So I want the lines to be straight on there. Okay, and then I want to put this little design on here. Put the lid back on my glue. I'm going to use this on the back of this because it's such tiny little pieces. This also has little flowers that are cut out separately if you want to do that, but I was able to place it on my wallpaper border so that I had the red up there on the top flower, and I just went with that. These tiny little pieces you have to have patience working with them because it takes a long time to glue them and get them down and make sure everything's right. And you got glue in every place that it needs to be. We are having a beautiful day again today. We had such cold weather there last week, and this week it's just been the opposite. It's been great. Like spring is finally here. You go out and you see people in shorts, and probably some of the students are out sunbathing this week. Okay, I just want that right on there, like that. And then I have a little mushroom to go on there as well. And that is 2 pieces. Let me just take these out and show you how this is. If you haven't seen this set, it comes with a separate piece to cut the mushroom, so you can make the top a different color, and then the other part of the mushroom is that. And same thing with the acorn. It has a separate cap on it, and it has this larger. I had some of those sitting here a minute ago. What I do with them? These are some that I cut out before. I'll let you see what they look like. That one I just glued onto this doily deal, and that one I put an orange lid on him, the top cap, whatever you want to call that. And that one, and then that's a separate. Those 2 were extras that I didn't use on something else, and then acorns. So anyway, that's what it looks like. I think I've mentioned before that I plan to use this Uncle Rip's journal as a place to record stories of some of the men in my family, just some of the things that they've gone through or they've done or they were known for or an experience they had or something like that. And this one, I think what I'm going to use it for is to just kind of record a hunting trip that my uncle and my oldest brother went duck hunting one time. I think that was maybe the only time they did that. But somewhere I have a picture of them, and I want to use it and keep it in this book. I'm deciding that a journal like this would be a really good place to keep memories about things like that. Even I don't remember them doing that. I don't know if I was even born yet then, but I've heard the stories, and I want to put them down for somebody in the future, or for me to remember what these men did, and who they were. And I'm just sentimental, I admit it. So okay, I glued that to my mat. That's always good, isn't it? But I'm just going to trim this off without cutting this open, I hope. I opened my envelope on the right side, so I probably need to put it on a page where it's easy to get to, a right-hand page, so that this is easy to access. But you could open it on either side, and you could also open both ends. I got this idea from a photo album that my mother had that had these pages that flipped up like this. And I thought it would be fun to do a window envelope project like that. I want to stamp a number on there. I have this set. It's a Kathy Holden set. It's called Sign Here. It's got signatures, and it's also got these numbers. So I'm going to use one of those. Let's see. That would be a good size. Or I could put that one on there. I think I'll just use this one. It's a different number from that one up there. I just don't want to have the same number on there twice. I think I'll use this ground espresso and get it right side up. I think that's right. 8-6, is that what it says? No, it says 3-2 on the end. Okay, I think I have it right now, but I better check. Stamp it on this piece. I'd thought about using that piece too, but I think I like this one better. There we go. That is the correct direction. Okay, there we go. Got it right side up and everything. I haven't decided what page I'm going to put this on, so I think what I'll do with it, just do it off camera and show you the end result. These are Tim Holtz photos, and they're not really the ones I plan to use in this, but I've tried them out in this, and I thought instead of looking for the photo that I want to use, I would just substitute these so you can get an idea of what it looks like with a photograph in it. And I thought this one was particularly neat for this double window in this one, because you can position it so that this row of little boys sitting on the ground show perfectly in that window. And then this is just a house, an old house picture. It kind of reminds me of a house we lived in one time when I was a kid. So I'll just put it in here. But you don't have to put photographs in every one of these. You could put, for instance, for the duck hunting idea, I thought about putting a recipe for duck soup or duck, whatever, some kind of duck recipe. I found one for duck stuffed with sauerkraut, but it might be really good. It kind of sounded good. It had an apple in it and everything, but I don't know that my mother would have ever cooked that, so I didn't. I was going to pull it out of a recipe book, but I didn't do that. But anyway, so that's how that's going to look. What I plan to use, I had thought about using to make the hinge. I thought about using this lace seam binding, but then I put it next to that, and I know it would show a little bit, and those just don't do anything for either one of them, so I decided that was not going to happen. I also had this is on the outside of the journal on the spine, and I thought about using it, and then I found this gray double bias tape, and I thought what I could do is just cut it where that fold is, and then I could glue this part to the envelope and that part to the page, and that would make a hinge for it that would be strong enough to last. And I'll probably glue that on with Fabri-Tac. On the back of this one, I put this writing paper that just has lines on it. This one is blank at the moment, but I may put some of this same ledger paper on the back of that just to give it a place to write and make it look nice. And as I said, I'm planning to glue this one down, so and since it's already so thick, I'm not going to put anything on the back of it, and I am going to glue it down to the page. So anyway, that is my idea, and I hope that you like it, and then it gave you some ideas for a journal of yours, or another way to use these. I will come back with the finished product and show you that. Okay, I have it glued down with the pieces of fabric here. That was a little tricky cutting that edge. It's a little bit uneven there. It won't be seen when it's closed. I used Fabri-Tac on that and just glued that down. And this one, of course, I said I wasn't going to make it a flip, but you could. You could make all three of them a flip. And you could add other pockets in here in between. It would make the page really heavy. This is pretty heavy as it is. So I decided 3 was about the maximum that I wanted to put on here. But you could experiment with it and, you know, make another choice. The other thing I forgot to mention and haven't done yet on those two is I made a thumb hole on this so it's easier to get the picture or whatever's in this pocket out. And I used this punch. It has a corner punch and a notch. This punch came with my scoreboard that I have, little scoreboard. So I'm just going to add a little notch up here on this one, if I can do this. Maybe I better take the picture out. Okay, I'm just going to have that one about in the middle. And it shows that pattern behind there, which I kind of like that. A little more design there. And then on this one, I'm going to make this up a little higher because I don't want to take duck off of there. I'm still thinking I'm going to make this the hunting page that I mentioned. So that still says ducks there, so that's good. Oh, I also added that green paper on the back of this. I want to put this in this signature and just show you how there's not much else going on in this signature yet except other pages. And I'm thinking I'm going to need to remove some of the pages I have in these signatures because I have these thick, bring this all over here. I have these thick pages with these pockets and these tags and various things in them. I may have to rethink how many pages I have in these signatures to be able to have the journal not be a gator mouth. See, it's already getting pretty full. So I probably am going to rethink how many pages I have before I sew the signatures together. But I like some of these pages and I hate to leave them out. So anyway, let's see, where were we? We were back here. I tried to pull the colors from one signature to the other. This one has blue and then this brown and orange here. And then in this one I've got some green there. I made that by taking dropped pecan leaves. They were still soft and putting them between the paper, and I ran the paper through my dye machine with just the layers, no dyes. And that's what I got from that. It wasn't as successful on this side, but I still like that. Some of the other leaves I didn't do so well, and I have allergies, and it wasn't too great for my allergies to do that. Just a warning if you think about doing that. It's a possible problem with that. And then I have a music page there. I might take that out. And this is a waxed paper with some, I think it was a fragrance cube. The fragrance is evaporated now. And I'm going to cover up this white with that. I haven't decided if I'm just going to sew that in and let it be a little page up there or if I'm going to do something else with that. But anyway, you've seen part of this before. I brought the blue back here with that and that blue on there. This is a page I made. I still haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that flip on there, so it's still loose, but I have a video for this page too. Okay, so that's my Uncle Rip journal so far. So I'll see you again with more ideas, perhaps, hopefully. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate any thumbs up, or if you want to subscribe, I would be delighted about that. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.